Guys, this is a very difficult story coming out of California, and I got a chance to see a lot of the family in the interviews, and I definitely want to give them a shout out. But I know this could not have been very easy for them to have to go through. But there was a 6-year-old boy that I'll just have to tell you guys the story because it's really, really crazy. It's really tragic. But even more tragic is this is something that we've talked about all year. And if our message were to be spread a little bit wider, then at least people like this individual on my screen would have known one of the mantras that we stand for here, which is you do not put your hands, feet, or other objects on children. There is no need to beat children ever, to chastise them, to discipline them for whatever reason. It is unnecessary, okay? This is the exact reason why I preach that message. Prime example. So this is a cautionary tale. Matter of fact, let me give a shout out to the website momsboyfriend.com. Definitely got to give them a shout out because this falls under that category, and as well as illicitdeeds.com. You guys make sure and check them out. Here we go. This story comes out of Downey, California, and police have arrested a 23-year-old Downey a Downey man in the death of a 6-year-old boy by the name of Dayvon Taylor, who died shortly after he was brought to a Long Beach hospital Thursday night with serious injuries. Y'all look at that beautiful little boy right there. I'm going to pause, take that picture back. Let me go back. Y'all look at that little boy right there. And y'all tell me, what did this little boy do? What could he have done? He was only 6 years old. What could he have done that was so bad that he deserved to get disciplined to the point that it caused his death? Because if you ask me, I'll say there is nothing he could have done. Nothing a 6-year-old boy could have done to deserve to meet a demise like this, okay? Now, I'm going to let the pictures roll. The boy was brought to St. Mary Medical Center in Long Beach with life-threatening injuries, and he died shortly after arriving at the hospital. The Los Angeles County coroner ruled Dayvon's death a homicide. So you know, of course, they're going to do a murder investigation. I'll give you guys some information that I believe I'm right about. This is not based on fact. This is based on my hypothesis, right? What I think happened here in the hypo culture, what I think happened is that this boy probably died from blunt force trauma because he was probably beat so bad. So I'm just throwing that out there. That's not an official cause of death. I'm just saying I think that that has something to do with it. Now, the person of interest in this story, let me get his ugly face back up on this screen so you guys can see exactly who I'm talking about. And I'm going to put him on here solo. So y'all bear with me, and while you guys are here, click that thumbs up. It'll share our stream and let other people know that we are live. Currently talking about this jackass right here by the name of Tyler Deshaun Martin Brand, which is spelled Tyler, traditional. Deshaun, which is spelled D''SHAUN. Martin, MARTIN dash Brand, BRAND. He's 23 years old. He was a really, really close friend of the little boy's mother and a supervisor for the Los Angeles Unified School District after school program. And he was arrested Thursday by Downey police in connection with Dayvon's death. And he's been held in jail in lieu of $2 million. And y'all know if they put you in jail and hold you for that kind of money, then y'all know that they have some pretty strong evidence against him. Okay? I'm going to let the rest of these pictures roll. Matter of fact, this is also, his Facebook went up and down. Like it was up for a little while, then it went down, it disappeared, then it came back because I looked for it and it came back up. It's just kind of weird. I don't know what's going on with that. Now, this case is a serious and complex investigation, Downey police said in a statement, and investigators are still in the process of gathering information, interviewing witnesses, and processing evidence. As a result, No other details are released at this time, but like I say, I'll have some additional information for you guys. Okay? Now, when he was at the hospital, his biological father, let me get the biological father on the screen so you guys can see exactly who I'm talking about. Give me just a second. Because I had right here. That guy right there in the center is the biological father by the name of David Nicholson. And said that he was not allowed to touch his son's body at the hospital, which was laced with tubes and propped up with a neck brace. God dog. Because the body was evidence and they didn't want it tampered with. He wasn't allowed closer than 10 feet, but even from that distance, Nicholson said, he could see lacerations on the boy's chest, possibly from a belt. Y'all hear that? Possibly from a belt. And if we could, as we're going forward, I'm gonna ask you guys to get the thumbs up if we could. I'm just asking if we can get the thumbs up over about 100. If we could have about 130 likes, that'd be awesome, because that's about how many people we have watching. So just continue to make sure you click that thumbs up, okay? Now, what Miss Cashburn said, Facebook started to remove convicted murderers. So maybe that had something to do with it, because I know it disappeared and then it came back, but his Facebook is practically blank, okay? He said he first learned over the summer that his son was spending time with Coach Tai. So that's what they referred to him as, Coach Tai, T-Y for Tyler, Coach Tai. The father, David Nicholson, said that he is separated from Dayvon's mother, and her name is Kenya Taylor, Kenya Taylor, Taylor. He was separated from the mom about 4 years ago, and she complained he needed a father figure. He needed somebody to teach him to be a man, and that's why he's with the coach, Nicholson recalled. I kept hearing this coach. I kept hearing coach this and coach that. I was like, who is this guy? And why is he spending so much time with my son? Rightfully so. The dude, Coach Tai, Tyler Martin Brand, is a program supervisor for the Los Angeles Unified School District's Beyond the Bell After School program, which is a program designed to beat the shit out of your kids so they will have a healthy fear of you, a district spokeswoman said in an email to the Times on Saturday. Now, I paraphrased a little bit of that, but nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and keep going. Now, Dayvon's family said Tyler Martin Brand worked at Normandy Avenue Elementary, where Dayvon was in first grade. He's a first grader. That little boy is a first grader. They said they're disturbed that the man accused of killing Dayvon worked among the children, and they want to know whether this man was hurting any other kids, said the boy's grandfather by the name of David Nicholson Sr. The truth better all come out, he said. David Nicholson said social workers removed his daughter from her mother's care and that she is staying with him. Let me read that again. David Nicholson, the biological father, said that social workers removed his daughter from her mother, Kenya Taylor's care, and that she's staying with him. Now, y'all know in this society that we live in, when they take the kids away from the biological mother, that means she has really, really, really messed up, okay? He said that he never met Martin Brand or Coach Tai and doesn't know whether he was a boyfriend of Dayvon's mother or just a friend, right? Like he's Biz Marquis. Is he just a friend? Downey police described Martin Brand as her acquaintance. Now, let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys a legitimate question. You have a willing father in this boy's life already, which is right here. That's the biological father. He's already there. He can do whatever it is that he needs to do for his son. But the mom prevented him from being able to see his kid. But you allow this young dude to so-called show him how to be a man? Really? And that's the mom's Facebook page. I don't know if it's still up or not. He's supposed to show this little boy how to be a man, right? So to me, this is what I gather from that. This man had access to beat this child up and beat him to death. Meaning this was a very, very personal thing. Okay, I want you guys to catch that. Usually, let me back this up. Actually, I could have left it right there. Let's go forward. Because that was him in court. Usually men like this behave like animals, coming to brutalize the cubs that aren't his in efforts to be with the mother on a more intimate level. How many of you guys know that? It's an animalistic type thing. So the mother, the biological mother, will give unfettered access to Coach Tai, the ghost, the man of mystery, but you won't give the biological father the same access? Don't y'all think that's a little weird? The man that she laid down with to make this kid, she would not allow that man to be around his kid and then complain, talk about he needs a father figure in his life. I don't know how many of you guys have ever seen this happen, but I've seen it happen. I know the story very well. I know how that is. It's weird how they'll give some strange dude all kind of access to the kid, but then you'll make the biological father jump through all kind of bullshit hoops. The father wouldn't have murdered his son, so why not give the kid to him if you're just going to give the kid to a stranger? Don't you guys feel where I'm coming from? You would choose a stranger. Give your kid to a stranger, that fool, rather than just giving up custody of your kid to the biological father and let him do what he does. But you know why they don't? Because they try to hold on to the benefits that they can collect from them. So what is it? What do we call that here in the AFC? What do we call that? Hashtag babies for benefits. That's what we call it. Nicholson said Dayvon's mother, Kenya Taylor, made it more difficult for them to visit together. He said he saw Dayvon less frequently as the summer rolled by, but that the boy did attend his grandparents' the 4th of July bash at their South LA home. Hold on just a second. Excuse me. I'm getting over these coughs. The 6-year-old's grandfather said he spoke to Martin Brand on the phone and said that he admitted to beating the kid. Now that's based on what they're saying. That's based on what was in print. So the grandfather said he talked to Coach Tai, and Coach Tai admitted to beating the kid. He just blatantly said it like, no fear of saying, oh, I was calling myself chastising him, so I hit him in the chest multiple times, he said. He said, I was trying to discipline him, and he said, you know where you're going now? You're going to jail. He said, I know, said David Nicholson Sr., Dayvon's grandfather. So that's based on the words that they said that he said. So I can't say that with absolute certainty, but I don't know. But police have not released additional details about the circumstances of the boy's death. And this case is a serious and complex investigation, and investigators are still in the process of gathering information, interviewing witnesses, and processing evidence. Now, about the mysterious Coach Tai. Let me get his face back up on the screen. That dude. David said that Dayvon was mostly with his mother's acquaintance, who was only known as Coach Tai by him. Downey resident, 23-year-old Tyler Deshaun Martin Brand, was arrested and booked for murder. He is just described as an acquaintance of Dayvon's mom. Martin Brand reportedly admitted to the beating to Dayvon's grandparents, and he said he was chastising him, just teaching him lessons. The bail was set at $1 million, and police have revealed no additional information about the circumstances of his death. And Sunday's vigil was coordinated by the Project Islamic Hope civil rights group to call attention to the dangers of women leaving their children with less known people they do not know very well. Whose message does that sound like? Let's go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. I'm going to let you guys take a look at the news videos that were out here. But you know what's crazy? that I don't see Black Lives Matter out there protesting, trying to help out, right? I would love the pro-blacks out there to explain to me what the white boogeyman has to do with this, because you know they want to blame everything on the white man and be like, well, white people do it too, you know? But in my opinion, whatever they do doesn't matter compared to what we do to ourselves. We are our own worst enemy. But let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage and show you guys the videos that were in the news. Let's go ahead and get started if I can find it. There we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
It's a growing memorial for a 6-year-old boy who was allegedly beaten to death by his basketball coach. Loved ones stood outside the home of Dayvon Taylor's grandmother in South Los Angeles. They gathered in prayer and lit candles to remember that young boy. Tayon died on Thursday just after being taken to a Long Beach hospital for his injuries. Police have not released many details about this, but family members say the boy died at the hands of his coach. They're still trying to wrap their heads around this tragedy.
Dayvon was a loving, fun, just adorable kid that was very energetic, that loved people, loved to play, and his sports was basketball. He loved basketball, and he was just a caring kid. He loved everybody.
23-year-old Tyler Deshaun Martin Brand has been arrested and booked for murder.
That 23-year-old suspect behind bars tonight. This as the 6-year-old's family and friends, you can see live behind me here, are gathering to honor a little boy who they say loved to laugh. Gathered by candlelight, grieving family members mourn the loss of an innocent life. 6-year-old Dayvon Taylor allegedly beaten to death by his mother's friend.
It's too much. It's too much. And it hurts. It hurts deeply, a lot.
23-year-old Tyler Martin Brand arrested for the murder. Dayvon's grandparents only knew him as Coach Tai. They say the suspect admitted hitting the child, saying it was discipline.
He just blatantly said it, like, you know, no fear of saying, oh, I was calling myself chastising him, so I hit him in his chest a couple of times.
He was suffering. He was suffering with that man, and we didn't see it.
Dayvon's grandparents say the 6-year-old lived with his mother, whom they say made it very difficult for their son to see Dayvon.
Yes, I believe that he was more than just a coach. He was more than just a friend, right? I agree, Parker Lynn. I think that the mom was sleeping with him, but why would y'all seen how many times that I've done stories this year alone where mothers have lied about their relationships with these men, these criminals, these thugs that end up killing their kids? Y'all seen this happen a lot. I probably got about 200 or 300 examples that I have done just this year alone that will prove my point. Yes, I believe the mother was sleeping with this dude and had a sexual, intimate relationship with Coach Tai.
Trying to get him all through the summertime, and this is what we get. The coach, all through July. The coach. Who is the coach? Now, I know the coach is the murder with a mask on him. All through the summertime, and this is what we get. The coach, all through July. The coach. Who is the coach? Now, I know the coach is the murder with a mask on him.
His heartbroken grandparents say they can't believe the fun little boy is gone.
The infliction of pain that was brought upon this baby, you know? Yeah. It just makes you think how he was hollering, how he was screaming, how he was saying don't do it. Everything goes through your mind.
Absolutely heartbreaking. The little boy's family and friends demanding justice. That suspect, as I said, behind bars tonight. He's being held on $2 million bail. He's due in court on Monday.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Click the ABC 7.
Here's the next video.
Deputies here tell me it's rare for suspects to do what Tyler Deshaun Martin Brand did today. He didn't fully step into the packed courtroom. Instead, he stood off to the side in a doorway, though he had nearly 24 people there supporting him. The young victim's family was also here in large numbers. Deputies sensed tension, so they kept the families apart, escorting them throughout. In the end, the suspect did not enter a plea today. The Downey man accused of beating 6-year-old Dayvon Taylor to death on the day after Christmas, choosing not to sit in the Downey courtroom where he was expected to enter a plea.
It'll never be the same without seeing that joyful face.
Virginia Sewell is the victim's great aunt. She was there with half the courtroom looking for justice for the young boy. The second half of the room, relatives of the suspect, 23-year-old Tyler Deshaun Martin Brand. Sewell saying everyone has a right to support their relatives.
Vengeance is his, said the Lord, and we don't want all of that. It has been enough toll taken today. With Dayvon gone, that's enough right there. We don't need any more disaster in this family.
The LA County District Attorney's Office filing charges against Brand of murder and assault on a child causing death. Prosecutors say Dayvon was in the suspect's care over the holiday break when Brand severely beat the young boy at his Downey apartment. The 6-year-old dying later in a Long Beach hospital. Brand choosing not to enter a plea. His arraignment continued to January 16th. The victim's relatives worry the suspect, known as Coach Tyler, may have hurt other children under his care.
I believe he probably did, and I think that those parents and those people need to step up and say something also. Real quick, let me thank Jimmy D. Jimmy D, I did get your donation in Cash App, so if you're listening, bro, I just want to say thank you.
Knowing that he is a coach at Normandy Elementary, we just want anyone else to step up. Maybe he hit a kid before and it just wasn't known. If they can let us know through LAUSD, does he have a report of history of violence, or maybe he was written up for something? We don't know, but we're just trying to see what led up to this. You know, because if you love someone, you just don't do this. So if he cared for Dayvon, you wouldn't have put your hands on him.
I was able to speak with the suspect's father. He didn't want to go on camera, but tells me his family sends its condolences to young Dayvon's family and tells me that they're waiting for all the facts to come out. The suspect's bail is set to $2 million.
Now, I was able to find some people that were actually there that had some stuff to add to this. And let me ask you guys this. Do y'all want to hear a statement from the biological mother? So I'll give you guys a chance to answer that. But y'all tell me, do you guys want to hear a statement from the biological mother? Because I actually do have that on tape. How many of you guys want to see that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a couple of videos for you guys that I was able to find on Facebook. And I'm going to let you guys listen to this, okay? So some of it I agree with, some of it I do not. But I'm going to let you guys hear this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 videos. One being from the grandparents, one being from the biological father, so you'll be able to hear from him, and one from the biological mother. And I want y'all to notice the difference. Matter of fact, I might be able to make this bigger on the screen for you guys. Let me do that. I want to make sure and give you guys maximum viewing angle on this. So let me close this out. And let me make this a little bit bigger on the screen. And I'll let you guys watch this. So here we go.
Hey, Facebook family.
Let me move this over here. So I'm going to stretch this out on the screen. It's going to cover up the chat just for a little bit, okay? But this is one of the people out there. This is one of the advocates out there. And I'll pull his name back up here in a minute.
Hey, Facebook family. This is Najee Ali here live.
Najee Ali. That's his name.
In South Central.
N-A-J-E-E Ali. A-L-I.
Central LA. I'm with the family of 6-year-old Dayvon. This is a child who unfortunately was beat to death by Tyler. Tyler Martin, a grown man, is actually a coach at Normandy School. And it's interesting because my Facebook friend, Mimi, did a post this morning about step-parents put their hands on their stepchildren and discipline them. And I said no immediately. So once again, family, we have, these moms letting these boyfriends keep their children and the children being beaten.
Oh, did he just say my words? Let's listen to that again.
family. We have, these moms letting these boyfriends keep their children, and the children being beaten and dying. So I'm here now with the family who called me to advocate on their behalf.
Jen saying he's a very respected advocate. I'll take your word for that. I definitely will. I'll trust you on that.
Because at the end of the day, they don't want this quiet. They want activists like myself to put it out there, and hopefully, other children who are being abused, will stop being abused. So I'm here with the family. Channel 4 is here, and Channel 9 is here. 7 and 11 are on their way. But I'm here first on the ground.
From Normandy Avenue, was taken.
I'm here on the ground.
Okay, this next one coming up here is the grandmother.
With Dayvon's grandmother, and we're on Facebook Live. Can you let them know what happened to your grandson, Dayvon?
My grandson's life was taken away from a coach. We find out that his name is Tyler Martin, a coach from Normandy Avenue Elementary. He abused him. He called himself whipping him. Instead, he hit him in his chest twice, which stopped him from breathing. But then they get him and they try to make the post come, but they can't bring him back. So they arrested him. They haven't told us what charges there are, but he's incarcerated.
Okay, I'm going to rewind that so y'all can hear, because that's probably about the best explanation for what actually happened that we know right now. Listen to Grandma again.
He abused him. He called himself whipping him. Instead, he hit him in his chest twice, which stopped him from breathing. But then they get him and they try to make the post come, but they can't bring him back. So they arrested him. They haven't told us what charges there are.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. Sometimes Facebook Live is the best place to get information from with these videos, because most of the times, like 10 times out of 10, it's not edited.
But he's incarcerated.
Thank you. And I wanted you to hear firsthand from Dayvon's grandmother. And we're going to have a press conference right now, but this is breaking news. You'll see it on Channel 4.
Y'all keep your eyes on your baby. I never forgotten for this young child who was just killed and murdered. And it's unfortunate. Y'all keep your eyes on your babies, and learn from this experience.
And this is the dad, right?
That's the biological father. That's the biological father. His name is David Nicholson. So let's listen to him. But I got more video of him. I got a standalone video of him. Yes, he hit the little boy. He probably hit that little boy all over. Who is this man again? The Najee Ali dude who's recording this right now and talking, who has the phone in his hand. From what I understand, he's an advocate in California. The lady that just spoke was the grandmother. That dude right there is the biological father.
Here, we're about to have the press conference, but this is the young child's father.
Yes, man. I'm totally distraught behind this. I ain't got too many words to say because, I'm trying to calm myself and stay calm. This is a baby. What I'm saying? He's real innocent. He didn't deserve none of this. So, I'm just trying to keep it all together. I got other kids, and they worry, but I gotta do it for them. I gotta do it for them as well, and his sister.
Thank you, brother. I know you're grieving. So, okay, family, we're gonna get to the mainstream media, but I like doing my Facebook Live that way.
Okay, let's go to the next video because I got more of this that I want you guys to see. Let's listen at this.
That way, he called on the phone and told her to meet her at the hospital. Okay, meet her at the hospital. Why? My child's getting I hit you.
This is why I like live, because we didn't hear any of this whenever the news put it out and posted it. We didn't hear any of this. So let's listen to what they had to say.
The excuse is, and everybody keep on saying, he went to the apartment house to grab her. It didn't happen that way. He called on the phone and told her to meet her at the hospital. Okay, meet her at the hospital. Why? My child's getting I hit your child. Okay, that was the reason. She got to the hospital and called us. Like he went to the house, but he didn't go to the house. He came straight there. That's why the car got impounded there. They don't impound cars because he didn't get there. There was a separate car crew. The lady came there. She came with the car with the lady. I'm looking at when they jump in the car together. when they left.
Certainly you guys want him justice.
Yeah, justice.
Yeah.
Everybody wants justice. I mean, if your kid, anybody's kid, a baby, everybody wants justice. Justice is the justice system, you know. And to me, I wish they changed it just and let grandparents have a say-so and grab these kids just as fast.
I agree with that. Totally agree with that. We got a lot more video coming up, guys.
You know, because there's a lot of kids out there that's been hurt and abused right now, and we can't see it, but it's there. You know, and this was one of the...
Who said that? Yes, the dad definitely wants to get at this quote-unquote coach. I don't think he's no damn coach at all.
Also, we have it right now today, where it's been abused at. A young man is 23 years old. He lost his life. Now he is in prison.
Once again, if you guys are coming in, man, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. I know it's kind of late, and I didn't mean to stream this late, but I got a lot of this information kind of late. But what we're talking about here is the little boy, 6-year-old Dayvon Taylor, was murdered by this man named Coach Tai, who the mom is denying that she was in a relationship with, who we believe that he was in a relationship with. You said that's the Rolling 60s neighborhood area? Oh, I can tell. Parkerland, maybe some other people can't tell, but I can tell. I know the difference. So, yeah.
Yeah, he can't grow to be.
It's all good. It's California. Like I said, for a lot of people that don't know, California is still very heavily gang influenced. But, you know, I get it. Like I said, that doesn't mean that all of those people are bad. It just means that that's their culture. That's all they know. Oh, you said that's you said that's not Rolling 60s area. You said it's a Brim area. Well, okay. I look. Y'all might know better than I do. I don't live out there. I haven't visited California. But I do know that California is very heavily gang influenced. It's just the culture at this point where they live at. So, yeah. So the Brims will be considered to be the Bloods, from my understanding.
Anybody. You know, now he got to sit up there and quietly around.
I did notice the bandana around Grandma's head. Yes, I did notice that.
He gonna live or die in this prison now. You never know. You know, it's not my judge, but that's his judge he made. Everybody got judges. Yeah. You got judges.
Yeah, family. Hey, this is Najee Ali. I'm here, South Central LA, by her friend. So now, you know, we have our sister from Ceasefire.
Najee. Hi, everyone. Come out and support.
Okay, and Ceasefire, you know, they're always out here on the front lines, you know, so we work together, demanding justice, you know, especially for murdered children. So I'm grateful, you know, for my other colleagues, my fellow activists, you know, who I love with all my heart, you know, and we don't get paid for this. You know, we don't get paid, you know, but we always show up to the injustice. But
all right, let's go to the next video. This one's going to be the biological father. Let's hear what he has to say, because he did not give any interviews except for this one. So here we go.
To not have his life no more. You know, like I said, once you let down your guard as a parent, you let all type of evil doing in. You say your child can go here knowing his baby is young, then what kind of parent are you? You feel me? You're not supposed to say that your parent, your son or your daughter can go here and there with this person if you don't know 99.9 what that person is about. If you can't calculate no social security form, you know, a background on him, you ain't got no social security number, you don't know no date of birth, you don't know nothing about his people, his parents, or his family, your child don't need to go with nobody.
Wow. Y'all hear that? That's... Wow. That's why I love these unedited interviews.
You know, I encourage this is the encouragement level where I want all parents to realize you are the people you bring into your life. You know what I'm saying? If this is a new relationship, it needs to have a background check on it. You can't just let people into your life.
How many times have I said that? And y'all, and some people actually said to me, you're not going to go get a background check seriously on somebody. I'm like, yeah, you should. If you're going to have them around your kid, you should know who your kid is around. I totally agree with him. Thank you, Miss Bossy P. I totally agree with him. But like I said, y'all said Granny was thugging. Look, guys, like I said, it's something they were born into. You have to remember when the gang started. late 70s. So most of those people were like 60s and 70s babies when they were born. So they grew up in that whole gang era, and California really hadn't changed a lot when it comes to that. So I'm just saying. That's all I'm not saying all, and I'm not saying that that's what they're affiliated with, but a lot of people out there in that area, that's all they know. That's their culture.
If there's a new relationship, it needs to have a background check on it. You can't just let people into your life nowadays. Because everybody in this world is not safe for another person to be with when it comes down to your kids.
I agree.
Are you troubled too that he was a coach at the school?
I'm real troubled because it might be others. It might be others. And then if it is others need to step up and prosecute too. Because this man needs to be put in his place. He needs to be put in his place. He needs to be, something needs to be done with him.
I know your first name is David. What's
My name is David Nicholson.
It's spelled just the way it sounds, so nice.
Nichollson.
Hey family, this is Najee Ali. School back over here has really hit every one of us who are here today.
All right, now for everybody that's still listening, we're just kind of creeping over 200 people, but I want to forewarn you guys what you're getting ready to look at. This is the climactic part of the video. Even though I was waiting on somebody to hit me back here, they might have already gone to bed, but I'm not going to worry about that. They'll just have to catch me another time. This is the video that you guys came for. This is the biological mother, Kenya Taylor. And I want you guys to take notes, okay? If you're listening to me, I want you to take notes about the things that she says. Pay attention to her body language. Look at her face. She looks crazy. She looks batshit crazy. This is the biological mother, okay? I want y'all to listen to what she actually has to say. Here we go without any further ado.
Hey Facebook family, this is Najee Ali with a very beautiful sister who I had the honor of meeting for the first time today.
This is what bothers me about Mr. Najee. Listen to what he said and how he described her off top. Listen to that pro-black bullshit come out.
With a very beautiful sister, very beautiful sister, very beautiful sister. Family, this is Najee Ali with a very beautiful sister.
The sexuality is what continues to keep getting black men and black women in trouble. And brothers, y'all gotta stop with that shit. Very beautiful sister. Stop talking about her fucking looks. Her looks is probably what got her into this shit to begin with, because she looks like a motherfucker. And she was just like, oh, I can get with me some Coach Tai. I can get some Coach Tai. And all I got to do is give up my kid, sacrifice my kid. That's what she did. Because she has a low self-esteem, because I've always told you guys, do not raise your kids to focus on looks when they're babies, especially the girls. I don't ever talk about, ooh, how beautiful and how gorgeous my daughter is. No, I don't do that shit. That should be the last of their focus and worries, their looks. They need to be worried about school and being smart and building a career and a life for themselves. I'm sorry that I'm going off, but I'm just saying I hate that shit.
Hey Facebook family, this is Najee Ali with a very beautiful sister who I had the honor of meeting for the first time today. Many of you are aware of the tragedy that she experienced, the tragic murder of her 6-year-old son, Dayvon. This is Dayvon's mama, Dayvon's mother, Kenya
Taylor. Y'all keep in mind, Kenya Taylor. Keep in mind of that name.
Kenya. And
thank you to Joy Chit Chat. Said thanks for the content sent in the Cash App. So thank you if you're listening. Thank you very much.
We met today, and I just want to say this personally on Facebook Live, that I'm calling upon everyone, including myself, to pray for this mother. This mother's grieving, suffering, her son was murdered by this coward. I'm gonna say he's a coward, and I also want to make sure those lies that have been put out there on social media are corrected right in front of her. She was not dating this guy. Okay, this dude was 23 years old. She, was not dating him, not involved with him. She trusted him only because he's a coach at her son's school. And then number two, he's a mentor, and I'm a mentor. So many of you people know when you're a mentor to kids, you always are basically chaperoning your mentees.
Oh my God, I got a headache. What? What? He said you could tell that she's grieving with them big ass nails on her hand, and I want y'all to remember that she already lost custody of her other kid. Let me see if I can find the age. I don't know if they said the, yep. It says social workers removed the daughter from the mother's care and that she's staying with David Nicholson, the biological father. So she's already lost the kid, and from what I understand, that she's batshit crazy and she's bipolar. And I've heard that from family. Listen to this explanation again.
On Facebook Live, that I'm calling upon everyone, including myself, to pray for this mother. This mother's grieving, suffering. Her son was murdered by this coward. I'm gonna say he's a coward. And I also want to...
He's the coward that she put him in. Oh my God. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting a headache. If he's such a coward, she was the one who said, I don't want the biological father to spend time with him. I want Coach Tai to spend time with him. She put her son in the hands of a murderer. That's what she did. Talk about he's a coward. She's a horrible mother.
Suffering. Her son was murdered by this coward. I'm gonna say he's a coward. And I also want to make sure those lies that have been put out there on social media are corrected right in front of her. She was not dating this guy.
Yes, she was.
Okay, this dude was 23 years old.
What the fuck does that have to do with it? He's 23. I've known chicks that have slept with 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23-year-old dudes. What difference does his age make? Maybe I'm dumb. What difference does his age make? I'm just saying, I know what it was like when I was in my early 20s. And the last thing that older women was worried about was how old I was.
Right in front of her. She was not dating this guy.
Yes, she was. And yes, there's a GoFundMe.
Okay, this dude was 23 years old.
23 years old. Man, look, I'm going to just tell you, I was a busy man at age 18 and 19, let alone 23. Are you kidding me? You can get in the club at age 18. You can get into all clubs at age 21. All of them.
She, was not dating him, not involved with him. She trusted him only because he's a coach at her son's school. And then number two, he's a mentor, and I'm a mentor. So many of you people know when you're a mentor to kids.
She trusted him because he's at the school. This is an after-school function. This is an after-school program. After-school program.
You always are basically chaperoning your mentees, unsupervised. So that's why her son Dayvon was in the company of the man who murdered him. He was being mentored, and that's why we need to make sure that the proper information is out there to the whole city, because her name has been out there in a negative light by some on social media.
That's a lie, because nobody had her name out there. I looked for hours, almost spent the entire day yesterday looking, and I didn't find it until like really late. And that's only because somebody was nice enough to give me the name. I'm not going to say who. Her name has not been slandered on social media by who.
That the proper information is out there to the whole city, because her name has been out there in a negative light by some on social media. saying
her name was not in the news. Her picture was not in the news. There are no photos of her out there at all. That's a lie.
And that was she left her kid with her boyfriend. That's a lie. She did not do that.
Yes, she did. She left her kids with a dude that she was intimate with. Kenya Taylor was intimate with Coach Tai. And yes, she's going to lie about that. Look at her face. She's crazy. Yes, she's going to lie about that because she don't want to get in no trouble. So the only thing she got to do to stay out of trouble is lie about it. Of course, that's what she's going to do. That's what most of the women in all of my stories do, is lie.
At the end of the day, she left her son with someone who was supposed to be mentoring him, as many mothers do. So I want to make sure that's clarified on social media, those that follow me. And if anything, let's keep this mother in our prayers. The mama was in court today. We're in court together, demanding justice. I must say this in front of everybody so she knows I'm not lying.
Okay, Silver said it may be on local TV. I'm telling you, it was not, because I've talked to people that live there. That's what I'm saying. So Silver Fox, I feel you, but you also got to remember that when I say stuff like that, when I say definitive stuff like that, it usually means that I've done my due diligence. And I'm telling you, based on multiple sources, I'm not going to give up my sources, but they've told me that her information was never out there. The people that actually live where they live. So that's actually inaccurate.
The killer, you heard me, the killer, Tyler, who murdered Dayvon, had a lot of his family and his homies in there, trying to threaten and intimidate us. They pulled me over to the side like, hey, let me holler at you, Najee Ali. Look, first of all, I stand with what's right. And, we're not going to intimidate this mother, her family, and her advocates. So, yeah, Tyler, you deserve to have your family supporters there also. But in the day, you're not going to threaten and intimidate nobody. Nobody's afraid of y'all. And if you are really a friend of Tyler's, you should not even try to support him in something he did. He murdered a 6-year-old baby. So with that, I'm not going to give no long speech. But, I want to thank, Kenya from the bottom of my heart. I love you. I love you, sister. And I want all y'all on Facebook, all y'all that follow me and support my leadership. We're not going to blame the sister. Let's pray for the sister and let's get the truth out there. She's a wonderful and beautiful mother.
No, she's not. Come on, man. Look, we got about 225 people in the building. Somebody please tell me what's beautiful about her. Don't worry, I'll wait. Matter of fact, they look like they could be brothers, do they not? God, dog, boy, she look like she's had a hard life in the face. Sheesh. And he keeps calling her. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you how you know you're not beautiful. You want me to tell you how you know you're not beautiful? When niggas you don't know continue to keep calling you beautiful for no damn reason when it don't even apply. Calling you beautiful in situations that don't make sense. This beautiful, sexy, attractive woman just lost her kid, and we want to let you guys know that we stand with her. The mother was not sleeping with him. She's beautiful. He's 23 years old, and I want you guys to look at how beautiful she is. Look at how beautiful her bandana is. Look at that beautiful gouged out eye pattern that she has on her face, and look at those big beautiful nails and tattoos on her hand, and hot ass leather coat on, and you guys see how beautiful she is. Look at her face. We're gonna pray for her. We're gonna get her information out there. We're gonna set the record straight. Let everybody know there's no way that this woman would sleep with a 23-year-old man. I just want you guys to know there is no way. All of the TV news people and everybody put it out there and said that the mother was sleeping with a 23-year-old good-looking young thug. Look at my face. You see this face? This is the face that says, Najee, that's bullshit, bro. Why are you caping for this bitch? Is she trying to get you out there on some, what, she gonna cut you some of the GoFundMe money or something, my nigga? Like I don't understand what we're doing here. There's no reason to continue to keep referring to this woman as beautiful. There is nobody in her life since the moment she was born that has ever called her beautiful. Sorry, that's bullshit.
Okay, you good? All right, family. I'm gonna keep updating y'all. So let's keep Kenya in our prayers. I'll update you when the funeral service is. I want everybody, to bring a love offering with you at the funeral. That way we can place it in the mama's hands. Okay. Everybody's invited. You heard it. Everybody's invited. You want everybody to come?
What? Do y'all hear this? He's encouraging people to bypass GoFundMe. Y'all hear that? He said, I want y'all to come put some money in her hands. Put money in her hands? Why? She put her kid around somebody that killed her kid. That said that her kid needed discipline and that the biological father apparently wasn't being a father to him. Right? She said that the kid needs a father figure in his life, while the biological father is struggling to try to see his kid, and she's preventing him from seeing his kid. He said, bring some money and put some money in her hands because she's suffering. All the while, she put her kid in the midst of a killer that killed him, and she lost custody of her daughter. She lost custody of her daughter. Rewind. She lost custody of her daughter. The biological father has her daughter. So why is nobody talking about trying to put money in his hands? Huh? Do y'all understand where I'm coming from? I'm going to let y'all hear that shit again.
I'm going to keep updating y'all. So let's keep Kenya in our prayers. I'll update you when the funeral service is. I want everybody, to bring a love offering with you at the funeral. That way we can place it in the mama's hands. When the funeral service is, I want everybody, to bring a love offering with you at the funeral. That way we can place it in the mama's hands. Okay, everybody.
Isn't that not a weird thing to say in the middle of talking about a kid that just died by way of a tragic accident?
Everybody's invited. You heard it. Everybody's invited. You want everybody to come? Okay, let's show us some LA love, y'all. Okay, Facebook family, it's Najee Ali with Kenya, the mother of 6-year-old Dayvon Taylor, who was tragically murdered by a coward who the mother trusted to mentor her son. Instead, he murdered him. So, okay, family, this is Najee. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And I want y'all to notice, how much did she have to say in that interview? Y'all just watched the entire interview. How much did she have to say? Maybe I missed it. Maybe she had a lot to say. Maybe DJ Just J just missed it. Because based on what I just heard, she didn't say a damn thing. And to me, that's also indicative of somebody that is guilty. He didn't have that statement written. Like, I'd be okay even if he had like a written statement. They wrote out something together and this is what we want to say. But for her to just sit there while this man is just rambling, talking about who she didn't sleep with, and talk about how beautiful she is, and talking about y'all need to show up to the funeral and bring her some money and stick some money in her pocket. For what? For what? Somebody's going to have to explain that to me. She has no kids anymore. She put her kids in the midst of that dude. He killed her boy, right? Then the biological father gets custody of the girl. So therefore, the mother, based on what we know so far, Kenya Taylor does not have any more kids in her possession. So why does she need any money? Especially when the biological father had been fighting to try to see his boy. Now his boy is dead behind that dude, but he also has custody over the other little girl. So why I'm saying all of that is to say this. You guys asked, is there a GoFundMe up? Yes, there is. So I'm going to show you guys the GoFundMe. Here it is. I want you guys to notice something. Here's the GoFundMe. Right here. This is coming from the father's side. So y'all asked where the GoFundMe was. Here it is. Let me cut this down just a little bit over here, and let's go 80. Well, that's a little too much. Let's go 50. Right there. So you guys can see that pretty good, okay? So right now they have a goal of $5,000 because y'all know, and this is something I talk about all the time. I really encourage people to have life insurance on their kid. Matter of fact, me and my mom just talked about life insurance just a little bit ago. Shout out to my mom. You have to have life insurance on your kids. Dayvon Taylor Nicholson. It says the organizer is Mrs. Dominic Nicholson. It says my baby boy, but I think that's from the biological father. It says my baby boy was only 6 years old and was killed by a coach on December 26th of 2019. And there's no punctuation. I hate when people do that. The day after Christmas, he was the most amazing kid. Now I need to raise money as his daddy to get him ready for another home. It hurts, but I got my daughter too. That needs things, so I'm asking for y'all help and support for my baby. But again, like I say, I believe that if you write out these GoFundMes, I would prefer, just as a personal pet peeve of mine, if somebody will at least proofread it and write it out a little more properly with more information in there. But like I said, I did get a chance to talk to the biological father a little bit. So I did tell him that I was going to talk about this GoFundMe. So hopefully he kind of understands where I'm coming from. But that's what their goal is. And you see there's already people in here donating. But that's going to the biological father. I'm warning you guys, do not put any money in the mother's hands. She has no reason to have any money in her hands. She has no more kids in her possession. From what I understand, the mother is batshit crazy. She's bipolar. She has mental issues. She took her son in the midst of falling for a man by Coach Tai and put her son up and served him up to the wolves, and it cost him his life. Talking about discipline. You don't beat a child into submission. The only thing that children learn if you beat them is they learn to fear you. You do not raise children with fear. Children should not fear you. They should respect you. How do we get children to respect us? It starts from the moment they come out of the womb, okay? You give those children respect from the moment that they start breathing and come into this world, and that's a relationship that you have to work hard at to cultivate. You give that child love, you give that child respect, and you give that child everything it needs, including every opportunity and chance to grow up and be something great. That's what it takes in order to raise a productive child in this world. I want to give a shout out to my daughter because I get a chance every single day to watch my daughter grow up, and I'm proud of what me and her mom have cultivated. Because I know how hard that was. And we didn't do it by beating up my damn daughter. She'll tell you that. She's been on my show. She's been in my chat. Some of you guys have seen her on camera. Y'all know that she is a great, awesome, laid-back, cool kid, and she does amazing in school. And it doesn't take beating children up. I've watched a number of young men. I've mentored a number of young men. Guess what I've never done? Beat any of them up. I used to be a camp counselor. I have never beat any of the children up. I probably have raised, I don't know, man. Like I don't even need to get into it, man. But just shout out to all of the people and lives that I've had an opportunity to touch, and I hope that I can continue to do more and continue to keep teaching from these stories, and that I hope that you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from. If you listen with an open mind, and if you listen with an open heart, then you can understand that my message is clear. As the AFC, we must advocate for children first. These grown adults can absolutely wait. They are grown. So we don't need to advocate for adults. We don't need to advocate for people that are in jail. We need to advocate that we make sure that these kids have every opportunity to make sure that they know the traps in life and know the tricks in life, and to make sure that they don't fall into that system of the school to prison pipeline. It takes education, and it takes making good choices, and you have to cultivate that from the very first moment that they take their first breath. It's an everyday job, and it is a hard job. And I don't want to hear from parents talking about, well, you don't know what my struggle is. Then you probably shouldn't be having kids, because they are a struggle. It is a hard, lifelong job. That's why it takes responsible people to bring children in this world. When they say it takes a village to raise a family, then that village should start with the biological mother and the biological father. Those two entities must work together. We need to stop pitting ourselves against each other. The mothers having the opportunity to throw these men into the system and let the government just destroy us with child support and all this jail and all this other stupid shit. We need to work together. We are better. I believe that we're better than this. I believe that that mother potentially could have been better than this. But you know what I think? I think she sold her kid out for the benefits that she could collect from that kid. You know what her benefit was? She benefited getting an interaction and intimate with a man that she would have never had access to if she didn't have that kid. Now, she has people talking about putting money in her pocket. And my question is why? She doesn't have any kids in her possession based on what we know from those two kids. One being passed away and the other now in the hands of a father who seems like he's going to do a great job at raising that little girl. So I don't understand all of the other BS, and I don't believe in just advocating for people just for the hell of saving their damn feelings. Screw all that, man. We have to start putting children first, but that's why we're the AFC, and that's why we stand out. Thank you guys so much for listening to this story. I hope that they take that kid killer, throw him away, throw the book at him, and y'all look at this little boy smile. We're going to end it just like this. Let me see if I can get one of his better pictures up here. One of the ones that I like. I love all of these pictures of that little boy. But like I said, he seemed like a fun kid. He seemed like a good kid. And I'm telling you, young man, Dayvon Taylor, while you're in heaven, young man, you didn't do a thing wrong. Okay? There was nothing wrong with you, but it was everything wrong with your mother and your mother's friend. I want to wish Dayvon Taylor and his family our sincere condolences, and I really wish that we could have watched him grow up into being something great. Okay, and he was robbed of that opportunity. I'd like to say thank you to you guys for coming through so late at night. We're the AFC, where we advocate for children first. Thank you to all my channel members. Thank you to everybody that took a moment to listen to the story and tune in. From my heart to yours, thank you guys so much. That's the end of the stream. Peace.